Hey guys, what's up? It's Tryptophan with another video. In this one, I'll be playing Warden. Um, so I think some of the main strengths of Warden are the acceleration prototype, which is basically a chrono that you get the moment you make your 100 mineral upgrade building, and your hero can make it or your hawk can make it for just energy. It doesn't cost any minerals, and I've heard that it stacks additively with chrono, so like a 50% chrono will become a 70% chrono because this is, or yeah, so it's not as good with buildings that have a lot of chrono already on them, like 125% chrono, because that would only make it 145%. But if you have a class like Nomad, which doesn't have a chrono, then it can become really strong. Here I kite backwards just to get more lanes. It allows me to take less damage. The second reason I think Warden's pretty strong is Vex armor. After I played this game, I went into Sandbox and I looked at all the abilities, and I learned a lot, which I did not utilize in this game because I didn't know about it at the time. But so Thunderous Charge and Whirlwind, like you only need 1 point in each, and that is because like more points just decreases energy cost and cooldown. But late game, what you need is Vex armor and experimental barrier. Experimental barrier gives yourself survivability, and Vex armor gives your allies that are nearby survivability. And this is 600. I rank 4 at 600 shields for all your nearby units, which is a ton, especially if you're spamming something like Stukov civilians or something. So yeah, one nice thing about the Hawk is I can create buildings and it can attack. I tested in Sandbox. Level 22 is kind of useless. So it's just pretty much just for attacking early game, defend your eco. All the supports except for Rattlesnake have some way to help them eco. So for example, Warden has this Hawk which can help build and defend. Phoenix, Cyan has the Phoenix which can build, and it creates a 50 mineral wall which can be cloaked for a little bit of time. Prophet doesn't really need to eco or anything like that. Just uses allies. DT can create the explosion building the volatile shard to defend his eco. Team Nova has another hero. Delta Squad can use another hero to defend their eco. Basically everyone but Rattlesnake has something. Level 1 this game I got Experimental Barrier level 1. I would have gone Charge if it was a versatile Haka, just for survivability, but I also have Sprint which will help me. So like if Kerrigan chase me I can just sprint away. And I also have Experimental Barrier. Level 2 I go Whirlwind. Level 3 I get Charge. And then after this, purely into Vex Armor and Experimental Barrier. One nice thing about Warden is that your money is always going to be way higher than everyone else because you don't need to spend any money on outposts. So you can just go straight into eco, and your chrono only costs 3 gas. One thing about the acceleration prototype is that it's a very small range, so it's pretty good with like Nomad, who can concentrate their eco in just a few small spots. And the best defender against Warden is Glevig because this bile shot does 25% max life if it hits, which is like huge. But yeah, so that I lost a lot of HP doing that, but I trolled them a little bit. So we went over the abilities, Vex Armor and Experimental Barrier being OP for late game. In a late game scenario, your main goal is to chrono other people and just use all your abilities once per fight. You're not really going to be able to tank much outside of the Experimental Barrier shields because like your regeneration is just so horrible. You'd only be able to fight one fight and then bam, you're screwed for the next fight. So I just got 1-1. Those are the only upgrades I got. All the yeah, I'll go over the upgrades soon as I see them. So they're all like decent, but none are important to rush. The only one I don't really like is increases Hawk's energy maximum generation rate, because I never have gone on that Hawk. Maybe if I was better, I would run or something. Maybe I'm just use it as like an outpost or something. Or more for, maybe it's better for more vision around the base. I don't know. It's like the last upgrade I get though. You really can't go wrong. Like all the upgrades are pretty good. But none like stand out as way stronger than the others personally. So, so Kerrigan's here like 15 minutes, right? At the 15-minute mark. Let's see how long it takes Kerrigan to go around the map with an Elementalist and Warden chasing him. One of the main strengths of supports that can survive around the Hunter is that they can just troll the Hunter forever, and it takes them forever to rotate around the map. And you get to kill all like the Hydras and lanes they spawn. So that is one of the main strengths of Warden. You won't be hard carrying every game with Warden, but between the Hawk giving you good eco and defending it, and Warden just being able to troll the Hunter, you should have like a modest impact every game. So yeah, just go through the Hydras. So if you remember where I said at the 15-minute mark Kerrigan was, it's been 3 minutes since then, and she's only gone like 1/8 of the map and has accomplished very little. So just by following the Hunter around all the game, you can kind of just win that way just by trolling. And Kerrigan can't really A move because you can just walk around. You can play Rinner on the Rosie. So she has some move click, and she can't spawn units, and it's just a nightmare. So here she's near my eco, but I know that as long as my hero is nearby to auto attack, I can tank while I salvage. And if she A moves, it'll attack my Warden. So she would have to selectively target each one, and I would get a decent amount of salvage off. So I'm not too worried. She misses my eco here, which is really good. One nice thing also about like a strategy like this is where I troll the Hunter as much as possible, is they spend a lot of APM on me, and they have less APM to find ecos. So yeah, it's taken the Kerrigan like 6 minutes to go from bottom left to top left here. Super strong. And now she's just backtracking. This is horrible for her. We've gotten a lot of map control in those 6 minutes. And I've gotten gas, and Elemental has gotten gas. This is part of the power of being a support. You really got to utilize your early and mid game to troll the Hunter or Defender. But Warden's a lot better at trolling the Hunter. Yeah, so I just charge in there. Yeah, I just rebuild pylons every time it gets found. It gets salvaged. After this second salvage here, I salvage like right at the 6-second mark of the salvage or the scan, so that way my salvage finishes after the scan finishes. So Zerg thinks my eco's still there. It's just kind of a greedy way to play. I get really lucky here, where the sun is walling off this area, so I can just build a nice eco here and eco. So that's super helpful. So yeah, what is Warden? So Warden strong at the Vex armor and a base, trolling Hunter, the Chrono. That's pretty much it. This Hunter's just going back and forth, following me. He's tried everything. He's tried just spamming energy drain. There's just not much you can do against a Warden. Maybe I should have got a movement speed upgrade to troll better. Like earlier on. Prioritize that. Yep, so I can easily clean up any tier 2. I did check in Sandbox at level 22. Your Whirlwind does enough damage to like almost kill Somps. Or it does kill Somps if you do the whole Whirlwind on one Somp, but that's very unlikely. So here I salvage and I have just enough money to get 4-4. The Slendus is able to push Kerrigan away. And I have joined the base with max. I'm a max Warden, 29 minutes. Probably not the fastest time ever, but yeah. It is pretty expensive to get all the upgrades. So if you look at my DPS, it's not too insane, to be honest. Like, you compare this to any other max support, and they would probably be way stronger, but Warden's just very consistent. So I'm going to do damage on the... So I start with 4.1k damage on the Hunter. And even though I'm maxed, I only am able to do 2.5k DPS before being forced away. And what else? It's going to take me forever to regenerate. So it wasn't very strong to go on Glevig because he has the percent health. Vex Armor would have been very good there. I didn't do it though because I'm a big nooba. So yeah, we're just controlling. They're spamming more corruptors. It'd be nice if the Slendus created more cannons or scouts, because their win condition right now is just a bunch of corruptors. I'm chronoing his eco. One thing you'll notice is if you do the chrono, it only lasts 90 seconds, but you can spend 100 mils 5 gas to extend it to like 3 or 4 minutes. Definitely worth it in the late game, but early game, kind of expensive. So he says we got 2 support seconds solo, but definitely not true, for me at least. Even though I'm maxed, that's a lot. Yeah, I'll show you right here again. So I barely did any damage, I almost died. And Dark Templar died there too, so it's just a 2v2 right now. Doesn't matter that I'm low HP, I can easily do that. The Q stuns. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure it stuns. It doesn't mention it though. So, yep, more there. I've been trying to use my Hawk to like deal with the corruptors, but it does not work at all. I tested in Sandbox, level 22 Hawk for corruptors, and it's horrible. It gets annihilated. And another thing I tested in Sandbox was higher levels of Whirlwind do not increase your damage. It just slightly decreases the cooldown, which you really need Experimental Barrier to go in anyways, which is the 60-second cooldown. So Whirlwind being a 30-second cooldown is perfectly fine, usually. But, I mean, you could maybe put like a second point in it. I don't know. I would just prefer... I would just recommend Vex Armor or Experimental Barrier. They're both much stronger abilities. So, yeah, I get down there, I roll in and stuff. I'm just trying to ping corruptors. I should be doing way better. Yeah, I see Overlord's coming from here, so I know the Hunter's here. I should be doing a way better job of adding sight around the base. So yeah, I do some good damage here where the Kerrigan's AFK. He runs away. I was thinking about charging, but I'm sprinting. I think he was faster than me anyway, so I didn't want to risk dying and throwing the game. Even though Slendus is still alive. Like, the Zerg could just hide in a corner and overwhelm him with units eventually. So I was trying to see if the low ground vision could be high ground vision. The low ground thing prototype, but it didn't. I I tried using the Hawk to deal with a few of the Bane lanes, but it's not really that good. Thankfully, Solanus is good at killing Bane lanes. Bane lanes seem like a pretty hard counter to Warden, not gonna lie. So if you're against a fed Warden, that's the main problem. I'd recommend Bane lanes, but yeah. So here, I saw he used his TP cooldown, so I went in on there. And it's kind of scary to think that one more bile shot and I would have died and probably through the game. And that's one of these Colossi ended it right there and then. But yeah, that's Warden late game. It's kind of, honestly, like, it's kind of underwhelming. Like, it took me so much damage to do 2k damage on the Hunter. Or so much time to do 2k damage on the Hunter. When, like, one max out Scion could easily do that. But it is a really consistent class. It's really fun for trolling. And yeah. Hopefully you guys learned something. Let's see, I went over abilities. So I started out with 1 point experimental barrier, then 1 point whirlwind, then 1 point thunder charge. All the next points go in Vex armor and experimental barrier. I talked about how I rushed kind of 1-1 and then I ignored all the other upgrades, but maybe movement speed upgrade would have been a good choice for more trolling. You can also go the extra regeneration for more trolling too. And I talked about Hawk defending eco. I think I covered pretty much everything. Alright, well, GG guys. See you in the next video. Peace.